And Ronnie Wilson was involved in one of the hottest fires ever seen at the Nationals. In qualifying, Gene Snow against Trip Shoemake. Shoemake qualified on this pass. He got very close to the center line, but that's not the story. The exploding engine is the story. You can see the parachute burned off. Ronnie Wilson headed towards the scene of the fire as Trip Shoemake fought to keep the car under control. All the emergency units rolled to the scene. Shoemake himself, using the onboard fire extinguishing system, knocked down the flames. The emergency crew getting to the scene just as he climbed through the emergency hatch on the top of the car. Some small fire still burning at the back of the car, obviously the parachute pack. In instant replay, we see the engine exploded just past the finish line. The parachute burned off, and that makes it doubly difficult to stop this car. He not only has to worry about the fire, he now has to worry, will the brakes stop it? Will the tires burn off? Can he hit the onboard fire extinguishing system? And right there you see with a big puff of smoke, that's just what he did. Here the parachute burns off. He's on the brakes, the car bounces, the big rear tires acting just like big rubber balls as the car bounces its way down the shutdown area with flames licking out from both the front and the rear of the car. The cockpit, relatively free of flames. That's due to the firewall system that is built into these fiberglass-bodied cars. Here he starts to lose control of it, but he regains it as Ronnie Wilson grabs his helmet and the safety safari truck heads to Trip Shoemake, driving for Johnny Loper. As he qualified on this run, a very expensive qualifying pass, the engine literally destroying itself. The car relatively unharmed, a burned parachute pack. They've got a lot of work to do, but they qualified. In the first round of racing, we see the man that has dominated funny car racing throughout the past 3 years. Three-time world champion and the defending national champion, Don Prudhomme, against Pat Foster. Prudhomme left the starting line first. He got to the finish line first in the first round. 5.97 seconds, 245 miles an hour. That time, recorded in the first round of racing, equaled both the elapsed time and top speed national records, and is just an indication that Prudhomme may be headed to his second in a row national championship in funny cars. Foster, a very respectable run, but didn't stand a chance. Let's go to Steve.
Well, just when it appeared the field might be closing in, the snake comes up with low elapsed time and top speed. Did you hear the times in the PA just now?
Yeah.
5:97, 2:45.
It was nice. Yeah, God, it really felt good. The track is in excellent shape, and we just need to do about 3 more of those.
Why would the track come around on Monday morning? It was a little off during qualifying, other than in the very early portions when Raymond Beadle ran 5:98.
I don't know. You know, this track is tremendous, and they take such good care of it, NHRA and their crew and staff and everything. You know, they wash it and darn near shampoo the place before we run, and it's just in tremendous condition.
Still in the first round of racing, Ron Colson, driving the Hawaiian, ran against Billy Graham. Graham from Manhattan, Kansas, in the near lane, had a clutch explode, and you can see the parts and pieces bouncing on the racetrack. Colson taking an easy win as the clutch literally exploded inside the car. Once again, the safety safari crew racing to the scene. The car body being lifted up and Billy Graham himself getting out of the car. The crew quickly putting some water and fire extinguishing compound just to knock down any fire that may have occurred. Here you see the clutch explode in this cloud of dust in Billy Graham's $1 million baby. The safety requirements of the NHRA have just about eliminated the injuries as a result of clutch explosions. You can see some debris bouncing out onto the track, coming out from underneath the car of Graham. Graham himself absolutely uninjured, bringing the car to a safe stop. One very disappointed guy after the first round of racing at the Nationals, but very lucky. The clutch exploded right under his feet. We're set now to go into round number 2 of Funny Car Eliminator at the Nationals. Some of the stars you'll be seeing: Kenny Bernstein, Tom the Mongoose McEwen from Fountain Valley, California, Tom Hoover drives the Showtime Corvette. Raymond Beadle, the low qualifier and driver of the famed Blue Max. Ron Colson driving Roland Leong's Hawaiian. Little John Lombardo from North Hollywood, California. And this is Trip Shoemake. We saw that horrendous fire in qualifying. Trip Shoemake and Johnny Loper and the entire crew, a lot of work to get it ready. They won their first round race in their match right now against Don Prudhomme. Earlier, Prudhomme had set low elapsed time at 5.97 seconds. Can Shoemake beat the Snake? Not on this run. Don Prudhomme, 6.04 seconds, 243 miles an hour. Shoemake gave it a valiant effort at 6.32 seconds elapsed time. He only ran 193 miles an hour, shutting it off early as he saw Prudhomme leaving him in the dust. The word through the pits is that Beadle is back. The driver of the Blue Max, Raymond Beadle, against Tom McEwen. Beadle recorded a 5.98 second elapsed time in qualifying. He was number one qualifier. That time has since been beaten, though, by Prudhomme's 5.97 seconds. Beadle won the Nationals back in 1975 and would love to repeat, but he's got his hands full here. And it's Tom McEwen at the finish line, 6.18, a 6.18 at 236 miles an hour. Beadle 6.24, very close at 231. The speed for Ray Beadle. Here we see the margin of victory, just a few short feet as Tom McEwen defeats Ray Beadle. Let's go again to Steve Evans.
And always calm and collected Ray Beadle. I don't think you knew who won, did you?
No, it was real close. I saw him right as I shut off, but I didn't know if he passed me in the lights or who won.
Yeah, he certainly did. But you leave here being only the second funny car to ever run in the fives, and that's got to give you a tremendous feeling of accomplishment and pride in your car and your crew.
Yeah, we've had a lot of problems this year, and the cars come around the last 5 or 6 weeks, so we're not disappointed. We'd like to have won the race, of course, but it could have been worse. There's a lot of good cars that didn't even make it, and I know how that feels, too.
Number 4 in the world last year, Little John Lombardo from North Hollywood, California, experiencing one of the best days of his long career in funny car racing. Racing against Tom Hoover of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hoover also at the wheel of a Corvette, calls it the Showtime, but look at Lombardo, 6.08 the elapsed time. He only ran 225 miles an hour. Very conservative, always conservative. Little John in at a 6.08, advancing to the semifinals. The time for Hoover, 6.21, 227. Ron Colson, driver of the Hawaiian, owned by Roland Leong. The Hawaiian race cars have won this Nationals several times, 1965 and 1966 to be exact, when Roland ran Top Fuel dragsters. For the past few years, he's been running funny cars. This one of the best, one of the quickest in qualifying at a 6.03. Here in slow motion, you see the burnout, heating up those huge 16 to 18 inch wide slicks, trying to find the traction for the 2,000 horsepower that's available to Ron Colson. He's supposed to be running Kenny Bernstein, but Bernstein has not shown at the starting line. Back in the pits, the body is off the car. Apparently irreparable damage done to the engine in the previous round of racing, so it will be a single and easy run for Ron Colson at the wheel of the Hawaiian. And Colson loses control and crosses the center line. That puts him out of competition. The rules read you cannot cross the center line or the outer extremity line, which in this case is the guardrail. And Ron Colson out of competition as the Hawaiian going out of control, unable to keep it in his lane. Even though no one was in the other lane, the rules still read you can't cross the center line. And there he goes, making a sharp move to the right.
Ron Colson's still a little bit in shock, I think. It's only happened a couple of times in national event competition. There's just so many different ways to lose.
Well, it's just, we were trying for lane choice in case there was an oil down. Car started to shake bad, and I tried to stay with it. It got to the point it was uncontrollable. I shut it off, but it was already, out to the point that it got over the center line.
Well, there's little I can say to console you, but you leave here with a tremendous mark of 6.03, the quickest the car has ever gone. And I'm sure your many fans are heartsick as well as you are.
Well, if I had it to do over again, I'd coast through and take the safe way, but you give it your best shot, see what happens, and sometimes it doesn't work.
This is the 24th annual NHRA US Nationals at Indianapolis Raceway Park. I'm Dave McClelland, and right now Steve Evans has another look at the disqualification of Ron Colson.
David, we have the competition director of the NHRA, Mr. Steve Gibbs, here to give us an explanation on the Ron Colson Hawaiian centerline disqualification. Steve?
Well, the purpose of the rule, Steve, is to provide the drivers with a guideline to maintain control of their car. And despite the fact that he was on a single run, he was obviously not in control of the car, and that's the reason for the disqualification. So it's there for the protection of the driver as well as the people alongside the track.
In addition to the professional categories being contested here at the U.S. Nationals, we'll be taking a look at the 5 sportsman categories of competition, starting with stock eliminator. Steve Terrence of Bremen, Kentucky in the far lane in his 66 Chevy 2 contested against Don Holben of Lansing, Michigan, driving a 76 Oldsmobile. Stock eliminator is a handicap category whereby the slower car physically gets a head start over the faster. The Oldsmobile station wagon of Holben in hot pursuit of that 6-cylinder Chevrolet. Terrence trying to hold on to his handicap start, but at the finish line, it is Holben there first with a 13.39 second elapsed time. In Super Stock Eliminator, some modifications allowed to the cars that are not allowed in stock. We see another Chevy 2, this one owned by Stanley White of Lincoln, Nebraska, going off against Dickie Ogles of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Ogles driving the 69 Camaro. And it's an easy win for Stan White at an 11.97 second elapsed time, shutting it off early to only 89 miles an hour. Modified Eliminator, one further step up the ladder. Again, handicap racing. Bruce Sizemore gets the advantage and the win as Sam Giannino of Royal Oak, Michigan, breaking on the line with his Monza. Sizemore driving a 6-cylinder Pinto to a fine 9.76 second elapsed time. His speed 137 miles an hour, that with a 6-cylinder engine. The top of the line of the handicap racing comes in competition eliminator. From Los Angeles, Larry Torres, Opel GT bodied Econo altered against the Econo dragster of John Lingenfelter from Decatur, Indiana, and a close race as Lingenfelter wins his second major championship of the year. His time 7.98 seconds, a speed of 169 miles an hour. In instant replay, we see where Lingenfelter caught Torres right at the start of the speed trap and about 3 feet, the margin of victory, as John Lingenfelter wins competition eliminator. And finally, this is Pro Comp Heads Up Racing, supercharged on alcohol. John Samolik won Pro Comp eliminator over Joey Severance. Steve's with John as he got out of his car.
The biggest upset of this entire U.S. Nationals event is John Samolik, your first big win. You beat the best in the world.
My partner got to be in. He kept that motor together for me.
This is the first national event win for a small block Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Lots of tries.
Yeah, we've had 5 times in the finals with small blocks. Dale Hall, Kenny Cook is the first one in the small block won.
Out of the some 750 race cars that started in qualifying and eliminations in the sportsman category 5 days ago, there are your 5 winners. Pro Stock Racing, the factory hot rods, Joe Satmary against Randy Humphrey. Humphrey from Long Beach, California, Satmary out of Maryville, Indiana. Chevrolet versus Mopar. The RPM's climbing at the starting line and a red light for Randy Humphrey. He knew he had to take a chance on the Christmas tree. And it was Joe Satmary with an easy win. 8.73 seconds elapsed time, 154 miles an hour. There's the red light indicating Randy Humphrey in the near lane, leaving too early. You can see it in the instant replay, just how it happened. The next pair in round number 2 racing in Pro Stock. The M&M boys, Maskin and Manarino. Andy Manarino doing the driving. Frank Iaconio from Totowa, New Jersey, in the far lane in the Chevy Monza. Manarino from Livonia, Michigan, drives an American Motors Hornet. but it's Iaconio on this run, 8.71 seconds at 155 miles an hour. A pair of Chevrolets slated to run in this race, but Richie Zool, the Spring Nationals champion, unable to answer the call. Lee Shepard out of Arlington, Texas, taking an easy win on a single, 8.70 seconds. His speed 150 miles an hour. Steve's in the pits with Richie Zool.